Hey, you! Are you still holding on to your job? How many times have I told you that you should just quit and become a good full-time housewife for my son?
Oh, hello, Linda. Nice to hear from you, too. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from when I say this, but I've also told you many times that I'm not interested in quitting my job and being a housewife. I had hoped we were on the same page about this by now. And besides, it's not like Rick minds me working at all, so I really don't see the issues. If I'm being honest, I think this is an issue that should probably be decided between me and my husband.
What? What are you talking about, Paige? You do know that people are calling you selfish for not quitting your job so you can take care of your little girl.
What? But I don't think I'm being selfish at all. What could possibly be selfish about working hard at a job that helps provide for your family?
But have you thought about the effect you working will have on little Lucy? She probably feels like her mom is ignoring her and doesn't love her. Just think how this might affect her when she gets older. Whatever ends up happening to her will be all your fault. Are you okay with that?
You think my child is going to grow up to have lots of issues all because her mom had a job? I really am not seeing the connection there. I'm sorry. Everything I do, I am doing for Lucy. Her well-being is always at the front of my mind, okay? Besides, I'm still with her throughout the day, you know?
But what you're doing isn't enough for her. Kids are super keen on these kinds of things and can be really sensitive to a lack of attention from parents. You need to be spending a lot more time than you think with your children, you know. I bet your poor little girl is so lonely without having you around the home to take care of her.
I'm sorry, but I just really don't think a lot of what you're saying is necessarily true. Besides, it's not like Lucy is ever really left alone at any point in the day. After all, she is about to start going to preschool with lots of other kids. And when she does start preschool, then I'll be taking off work early every day to go and pick her up.
And I'm telling you right now that this is still not enough for her. And your poor little girl is just too much of a sweetheart to say anything to you.
Are you sure that that's really what's going on? Anyways, it's fine because Rick is always helping out around the house too. And when I can't be with Lucy, he always makes sure to spend lots of quality time with her. She always seems to be having a lot of fun when they're together.
And you think that's a fair burden to put on my poor son? Don't you know how busy he is with his work? He deserves to rest when he comes home. But now you tell me that you're too lazy to be a parent to your own daughter, so you make Rick do it. Don't you know that it's the woman's job to raise the kids and manage the home?
I'm really sorry, Linda, but I just don't think we share the same beliefs on that topic. Besides, I think that times have changed and that mentality is a bit outdated. If a couple can hold jobs together, then they can raise their own children together. After all, it's their child, so isn't it only natural that both parents should have a role in raising it?
Well, here in my family, we still respect traditional values and don't think like that. I don't care what the rest of the world is doing. My family, my rules. Well, then again, I suppose you are just Rick's wife. It's not like we're really even family. But since you've married in, the least you can do is raise your family how I tell you to.
Don't you think you might be overstepping just a little?
And don't even get me started on the house. I mean, do you do anything to keep it clean? You just let clothes pile up unwashed, dishes in the sink, dust everywhere. Food left just sitting out. I mean, honestly, do you even try to keep your house clean?
I thought you might try and bring up the state of the house. Last time you came over, you did so without any kind of message or heads up. Then you barged in and started inspecting every nook and cranny for things to nitpick. Anyways, that really wasn't appreciated, so please don't do that again.
What could have possibly upset you over my visit? Maybe if you actually kept your home in order, then you wouldn't be upset when guests come over. I didn't tell you I was coming over because I wanted to make a point. And I had to be thorough while I was looking around. Who knows where you might have tried to hide your clutter from me?
I wasn't hiding things. And even if I was, it's my house, and I think I have that right if I want.
Oh, is that what you think, dear? You just didn't want me finding out what a messy person you are. I never wanted you to marry my precious little boy. He deserves a wife that can actually take care of the house like she's supposed to.
Actually, Rick and I do a really good job of splitting the chores. And it is true that sometimes both him and I get a little too busy that the housework doesn't get done. But we've never once let it get to the point where it's become a serious issue. We always make sure the house is clean enough that there's never any danger to our health or anything like that.
Well, I still don't think it's good enough. I can't stand going over to your filthy house. And I just know my little Ricky feels the same way. After all, I raised him and always made sure the house was spotless as he grew up.
I really don't think you have to worry about that, Linda. Rick and I talk regularly, and he doesn't seem to have complaints about the way we live.
Oh, my poor, sweet little boy. He must try so hard every day to control himself around you. I just wish he would divorce you already.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get a little fed up with this conversation. I would appreciate if you chose your next words very carefully.
I'm just so worried about my little boy. He works so hard at his job every day and even makes sure to send a little money back home to me. I've heard that you don't send money back to your parents. Is that true? It's never a bad time to stop being a bad daughter.
Actually, I don't send money home to my parents because they really don't need the assistance. Besides, they both still work full-time and haven't reached retirement age yet. I know that you were able to be a stay-at-home mom the entirety of Rick's childhood. But ever since your husband died, you've needed Rick to send money to help you get by.
And I'm just ever so grateful to my sweet, sweet son. I did such an amazing job raising him to be the way he is now. Of course, he isn't perfect and has made some wrong decisions in his life, too. Some small and some not so small, that is. Oh, I should have been there to guide him towards a better path.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Anyways, it is our house, not yours, so we will continue to do things our way. Please hold back from giving any more comments or criticism about how you think my house is run. Thank you.
Excuse me. Just who do you think you're talking to, young lady? If this is how you really act, then I truly do feel sorry for my poor little boy and my granddaughter.
Anyways, I'm quite busy, so I am going to go now.
Hi, honey. Did you and my mom happen to talk a little earlier today? My mom sent a message that was mostly just her complaining to me.
Yes, we did talk. She was asking me, again, if I was sure about not being a stay-at-home mom. She was just talking about how lonely she thought Lucy must be and how dirty she thinks the house is. Just the usual run-of-the-mill complaints, you know?
Ah, I see. I am so sorry you are having to deal with her like that. I've told her so many times that you and I happily split the work and manage the house together, but she's just so set in her old ways and keeps insisting that all the stuff should be handled by the wife. And then she only blames you when the chores aren't done or the house is a little messy. I've tried explaining how things really are to her all the time, but she just doesn't seem to want to really listen to what I have to say.
No, I understand. He's really okay. Your mom is just the kind of person who really tries to exert her will onto others sometimes. I mean, that's about what I hear from you as well. If I'm being honest, I kind of feel bad for you sometimes too. You're also kind of a victim in this.
Yeah, maybe just a little. I'm just sorry that all of her anger always seems to be focused on you, though. I really wish there was something I could do or say to my mom to get her to stop with all this. Lately, I just haven't even been trying to tell her the truth because she's getting to be so much. I'm so sorry I haven't done more to try and stop all of this.
Rick, I said it was okay and I meant it. I know that you have a lot on your plate and that you're doing your best. And your hard work is really paying off, too. I mean, just look at how well you did on that test last week. You're chasing certifications and always moving one step closer to your dream job.
Paige, that's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. But I really couldn't have done any of the things that I have without you by my side, always willing to help. And I know I haven't made things easy on you with all this, but I promise I'll have some good news soon. All I ask is that you hold on just a little bit longer, okay?
Of course, baby. You know I'll always be cheering you on.
We're going to that barbecue restaurant for a family dinner. We're going to have so much good food. Except for you. You're only allowed to eat from the salad bar.
Excuse me? What do you mean I can only eat from the salad bar?
Well, you're not family, and this is a family dinner. That's why I say that you can't order anything off the menu. Only the salad bar. Maybe you can just get your fill off of all the good smells.
What are you even talking about? Don't you think this is just a bit excessive?
And here she goes again. The bad wife always arguing with her mother-in-law and never doing what she's told. I really can't stand you, you know that? Why don't you just go home?
Okay then, maybe I will.
Good. Leave then.
That's what I'm doing.
Hey! You evil witch! What did you say to Rick? He is furious with me right now. Did you know even your own daughter said that she hates Grandma now? What kind of evil lies did you tell my family?
Wow, did Lucy really say that to you? I guess I've been raising my kid to be a lot tougher than I thought. Honestly, I'm moved to hear that.
Tell me what you told them. Tell me what you said that made my son and granddaughter so furious with me. I got so upset I had to run to the bathroom. Rick even told me that I have to change the way I talk to you. Huh, can you believe that?
I would certainly hope that that's the least he said to you, Linda. I've been pissed all day because of the nonsense you were spouting at me earlier. So I talked to Rick and told him all the horrible things that you said to me. He seemed really, really upset with you after I finished telling him everything.
You evil harpy! What lies did you fill my poor little boy's head with? What did you do to my sweet, precious Ricky?
It was around the time that I was heading towards the restaurant where I thought we would all be eating together. Then suddenly, I got all those nasty messages from you that resulted in me not even showing up. Well, I explained what had happened to Rick and that I was too upset and had to go home. And I guess that was just about the time that Rick and Lucy arrived to meet you at the restaurant.
So that's why it was only those two who were there when I arrived? And what is this drivel I hear about my son not working right now? You're telling me that my son and grandchild have been living off what you've been bringing home? That can't be. I don't believe it.
Wow, so Rick finally told you what he's been up to, huh? Well, that was unexpected, if I'm being honest. He told me he would wait until he achieved his goal before finally spilling it all to you.
What are you talking about? You talk to me straight right now or else. What are you going on about? Rick's goal. You better tell me.
So, I guess this conversation didn't get very far then, huh? Did you know that Rick has always wanted to be a designer? I'm sure you must have known that about your precious little boy, no?
He what? What are you even saying right now? You're telling me that that is what Rick is studying right now? Design?
That's right. He went back to school to pursue his passion for design. And that's why I've been working extra hard to provide for all of my family.
This has got to be some kind of joke, surely. I thought I made sure those silly dreams of his were put to rest when he was little.
Well, for a long, long time, they really were. Do you see? You got in the way of your son doing what he really wanted to do. Now I'm working hard to give him a chance to achieve those dreams you made him give up. He's always been such an obedient son, doing whatever you told him to do. Well, I won't be doing the same. Instead, I'll support him all the way while he finds his own path.
You stupid cow. Are you trying to ruin my son's future?
Oh, Linda. Isn't that the exact question that I should be asking you? Always making Rick do things he didn't want to. Forcing him to apply for companies that you picked out for him. It didn't matter as long as your expectations were satisfied, right?
But I had to. Because of that, he had a comfortable salary and a good job with an amazing company. But you made him leave all that behind just so he could chase some childish dream of his. Don't you realize that this will ruin him?
Let me tell you something about his job, Linda. Not only was it something that he didn't pick out for himself and never wanted to do, but every day he would come home late after hours of overtime and constantly look depressed. What I'm doing for Rick, I'm doing because I want him to enjoy his life more. I want to support him the way my parents supported me starting my own business.
But you have to open your eyes. This is the real world that we're living in. And let me tell you something, young lady. The real world does not give one spit about your dreams. What if Rick fails? What is your plan then?
If that's what happens, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But no matter what happens, I'll always be working hard to provide for my family. Because that's what a good husband and wife do. We're there for each other.
Well, that's all well and good for you two, but what about Lucy? Aren't you neglecting her by always working so much? I mean, just look at the state of your house. That is no way to be raising an infant child.
Actually, since I'm working as much as I am, Rick has been taking care of all the housework. Of course, I help him whenever I can, since his first priority right now is taking care of Lucy.
What kind of sick family dynamic is that? You make your husband handle the housework? That's just unnatural.
In life, there's work and housework. Since I'm handling the work, Rick is in charge of the housework. But I guess if you think about it, it's the exact opposite of the way things used to be back in your day.
And that's why it's unacceptable. I simply will not allow it to happen.
I don't really care what you think. Lucy is always so supportive of how hard her dad works. And when she grows up and has dreams and ambitions of her own, Rick and I will be there to support her in whatever she wants to do. After all, it's all thanks to the way you raised him that Rick was so miserable for so long.
What did you just say to me?
That's why he is so opposed to raising Lucy the way you raised him. Do you understand everything I'm trying to tell you right now? We are going to do things our own way and make sure our kids are raised the way we want them to be.
You think you can just go off and raise kids without grandparents? You'll regret this.
No, Linda. I think the one who will be regretting how this turns out will be you. I feel like you should know that the allowance you thought Rick was sending you this whole time was actually from my own earnings. But your own son said it's time that you were cut off. And so from today, you will no longer be receiving your checks in the mail.
Wait, what? Then how am I supposed to live? How am I supposed to buy food? I never had to work before. I was a stay-at-home mom my whole life.
And this is the result of you thinking that that was the best choice for yourself. I guess you should have thought of a backup plan in case things turned out this way. I've gotten as far as I have in life through my own strength, and that's why I will never be a housewife.
Wait, you can't do this to me. I'm your mother-in-law. I was wrong. I understand that. You don't only have to eat at the salad bar. Do you think we could meet in person and talk?
There's nothing else I want to say to you. I hope you lead a life that you can be sure you chose for yourself. I'm sure that's the only way you'll know whether your decisions were correct or not. But in my opinion, I think people who have never worked a day in their lives should learn a bit about the real world before telling others how to live. After that, Linda left the bathroom stall of the restaurant and returned to her table. She was still sat there, getting lectured to by her son, when I arrived. I took one look at Linda and told her to enjoy the salad bar before going home with my family. We left Linda there to think about her choices. Linda had a difficult time trying to find a part-time job to help sustain her new life without checks from our family. I've heard that she is barely eking by. But that's just desserts for you. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
You good-for-nothing robbing witch! How dare you steal Jack from me?
Excuse me?
This is the first time something like this has ever happened to me. It's so humiliating. I can't believe I lost someone I love so much to a conniving witch like you. I'm never going to forgive you for what you did. Not in this life or the next.
Who's this?
Oh, are you that Kathy?
The one Jack grew up with?
What? I'm not just a childhood friend. I'm his fiancé. Don't ever get that wrong again.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
You got that? We are more than just friends. We were promised to each other when we were little. Our parents approved of this match. But then you came along and stole him from me. You're a thief, a dirty criminal. You need to be locked away somewhere. Don't think I'll just let you marry Jack without a fight.
Kathy, please calm down. I didn't steal Jack from you or from anyone. Stop calling me names and accusing me of doing something that I didn't do.
Ugh, you're just going to play dumb then. I just said that you stole Jack from me. How dare you act like you did nothing wrong? You have no idea how shocked I was when I had to hear from a mutual friend that you and Jack plan on getting married. If Jack was going to properly marry someone, he could have at least told me directly. I should have gotten a wedding invitation at the very least.
Oh, you didn't get an invitation? That's odd.
There you go again, acting like you know nothing. You're probably the one behind all this.
You probably told him not to invite me. I know what you're trying to do. If I didn't get an invitation, this means you're doing all this behind my back. Because you feel guilty about stealing him from me.
I don't have anything that I need to feel guilty about. Actually, I don't feel anything at all about you. I don't know you well enough to have an opinion. And about that invitation, if we were to send one to you, you would be invited as a guest of the groom, right? Jack is in charge of his own wedding guests. I have no control over who he invites or doesn't invite. So if you didn't get an invitation, it has nothing to do with me. You need to ask Jack about it yourself.
Well, aren't you, Miss High and Mighty? You're probably the one that demanded Jack to not invite me. I see right through you, so don't try to pull a fast one on me.
Could you stop saying that? I would never do anything like that. It's Jack's decision. Like I said, you're his friend, not mine.
Oh, shut it, you witch! You pushed me out of the picture, so now you're getting full of yourself.
Wow! I'm getting an idea of why he didn't invite you.
It doesn't matter how you got Jack to agree to marry you. He should marry me. I'm the one who has known him the longest. He belongs to me. Don't think that I'm gonna just let you marry him without a fight. I'm not going to go easy on you.
Hey, baby. Can I talk to you for a minute? Your old friend Kathy messaged me earlier. She was rambling about how I stole you from her and how she won't forgive me. What? Kathy messaged you directly? Yeah, just a few minutes ago. She was complaining about how she didn't get an invitation. She kept claiming that the reason for that was that we were going behind her back. What exactly is the status of your relationship with her recently? I mean, there is nothing going on between us, if that's what you're asking. Are you sure? You don't have any idea why she's acting like this? She's gone off the deep end, it seems. Did you guys go out in the past? No, we never did. I never even went on a date with her before. Believe me, honey, there's nothing between us. Then why is she so angry, and why did she say all that to me? She even said that your parents and her parents had agreed to an engagement between the two of you. What? That was when we were in kindergarten or something. Oh God, I don't even know how many years it has been since then. Our parents got along, and her and I did play with each other a lot. You know how small kids are. We would say things like, "We're going to play together forever," stuff like that. But that's not serious. We, or at least I, didn't even know what that meant. So you're telling me that Kathy is holding you to a promise that you made in kindergarten? She thinks that still applies now that the both of you are adults. I'm sorry to say this, but that's really not normal. I don't want to keep bringing this up, but I want to clear the air. Are you sure she was never your girlfriend? Not even for a brief moment in time when you guys were older? Never. Not even for 1 minute were we more than just friends. I swear to God and to all my ancestors, we never went out. The only person I want to marry is you, babe. To be honest, Kathy doesn't have that many friends, so I guess she just clung on to me. Clung on to you? What do you mean? If she is clinging on to you, then that would mean that something did happen. Otherwise, what is there to cling on to? Nothing at all. That Kathy... Well, I don't really know all the details, but there used to be rumors about her. People used to say she likes to steal other people's boyfriends. I guess that's what she is trying to do here now, too, maybe. Is that right? That's what everyone used to say when we were in school. She got into a lot of trouble with a lot of people for things like that back then. Because of what she did, she would sometimes not go to school for days. I knew where she lived, so I would tell her what was for homework and give worksheets to her. I guess it was around then that she started to develop a crush on me. Even now, she doesn't have friends? I don't know. I guess she probably doesn't. She went to a college out of state. It seemed like she had made friends, looking at social media. But then there were still rumors even back home that she was going out with married men. So she lost all the friends she made and was ostracized in her company too. I guess with no one else to turn to, she clung on to me again. That would mean that I'm not the one that's taking you from her. Our parents were friends and we happened to be friends too.
So it's hard for me to cut her off, you know. Maybe that's why she's so against me getting married.
To sum it up, in Kathy's life, she only has you and her parents. And that is why she is trying to hold you to a promise that was made when you guys were only just kids?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I have told her many times before that I have no intentions of marrying her for real. But she would say things like, "Don't worry, in the end you'll come back to me," or whatever. I couldn't get through to her at all.
That's the root of the problem. You should have made it explicitly clear to her, and you should have told me about this before. I would have been more prepared to handle myself when she made all those accusations.
I'm sorry. I didn't think she would go after you the way she did. I didn't know she would message you directly. But you're right. I should have told you a lot earlier. I'm sorry you had to go through that and that I was the one that caused it.
Well, since you are apologizing, I will let it go this one time. From now on, don't hide anything from me. It doesn't matter how small the problem is. You don't have to face it alone anymore. Tell me everything, and I will do the same, okay? We're going to be married soon, so from now on, we need to think like a team.
Thank you so much, Samantha. I plan to sit Kathy down and talk to her about this.
I don't think that's a good idea. If you were to talk to her now, you would just be playing into her hand. I think she might try to do something to you. So I think we should do nothing about it for now and act like normal.
Are you sure that's going to be okay?
But on the day of the wedding, we should tell everyone to be on high alert for her. We won't let her in. It would be better if we only tell the people that need to know about this. We will let those people handle the situation so that we can focus on our wedding.
That sounds like a good idea. Leave it to me to tell the people at the venue about this. Again, I want to apologize for letting this happen before our wedding.
I've already forgiven you, so you can stop apologizing. Just focus on having a good wedding, okay? Let's just try to have fun at the wedding, and then we can spend the rest of our lives together. If we can be happy, then it wouldn't matter what Kathy tries to do. Hi! It's been a long time. How are you?
It's still so early in the morning. What could you possibly want?
It's your wedding today! You should be awake already. Don't act like I'm the one that woke you up.
If you knew that today was the wedding, then why would you bother me at such a busy time?
I don't care what you have to say now. I'm marrying Jack no matter what. We're going through with the ceremony. But let me say this. Jack and I did not invite you. You are not welcome. You can beg all you want, but you can't come to our wedding. Who's going to beg to go to your crummy wedding? Anyway, how courageous of you to think that you can have a wedding without any problems. I think you have no choice but to postpone your wedding today, or even cancel it altogether.
What do you mean by that?
I told you already, didn't I? I warned you that you shouldn't expect everything to go perfectly today. You see, I sold your dress and your tiara that you were going to wear today.
What?
You have nothing to wear today, so there's no way the ceremony is happening. You have to postpone it. Sucks to be you. I'm going to be taking Jack back now. So hand him over.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you sold my wedding dress?
I mean exactly what I said. There's no other meaning to it. I sold all your things to ruin your wedding day. Plain and simple. Like you. I sold it at a pretty cheap price, too. It sold pretty quickly, too. It must have been expensive.
I am not sure what to say.
Boo-hoo! Just sucks for you, doesn't it? With no dress and no tiara, you might as well call the wedding off. This is what you get for stealing Jack from me. I hope you've learned a valuable lesson about double-crossing me.
Kathy, that wasn't my dress. That belonged to someone else.
Huh?
How awful of you to sell things that aren't yours. You need to buy everything back this instant.
Wait a moment. Of course what I sold was yours. I'm friends with Jack's parents. I've known them for a very long time, since I was little. They watched me grow up. That's why I know everything. They told me all about it. You let them keep your dress and your tiara. They had it with them.
How could you do such a thing?
It was in their house. I was just able to waltz in and get it. It was easy. I've been there so many times, no one even looked twice. They had it in their living room, so I took it and sold it.
What have you done? It's true that Jack's parents did take a dress. But that was the dress that I didn't want. They were going to return it for me.
What? Return it?
You see, I found out that I am pregnant. And the first dress I got didn't fit me anymore. I needed a looser dress. My mom knows how to do things like that, so she fixed another dress that I got for me. It's hard to tell what size I will be until the wedding, so they took that dress from me.
Wait a second. Then that dress that was at Jack's house? That white dress with the dazzling tiara? No, it's a wedding dress. It was clearly the one that you were supposed to wear.
No, that was his mother's dress. I gave it to her.
Jack's mother?
It's their 30th wedding anniversary this year. They were planning to take wedding pictures. They were going to renew their vows and have a big party. Since we already had a venue, they were going to use it as their background for some pictures for their invitations.
What?
The people at the venue were more than happy to let us do that. Jack's mother is also over the moon about it. She was looking forward to it so much. But now that you sold it, she's going to be so sad.
There was no way I could have known about that. It's your fault for leading me to believe that the dress was yours.
What? Doesn't matter how you slice it. This is all your fault. What are you going to do to make up for what you did?
What am I going to do? There's nothing that can be done. I already sold it. I'm the one that wants to know what I can do.
Fine then. I'll tell you what you can do, and you better do it. Here's what you should do. You need to buy back the dress and tiara that you sold. Then you need to go and apologize to Jack's parents.
Buy back? I can't do that.
Well, that's all for me. Anyway, you better hurry and get everything back. There's only a few hours until the wedding. We will need that dress and tiara soon after our ceremony. So, go get it now.
You! I can't believe you filed charges against me with the police! My parents told me that the police are looking for me now.
Oh, it seems like the police do move quickly.
Stop messing around! I did what you told me to do! I'm trying my best to look for the dress and get it back. I sold it on the internet, so I ran to the post office to try and get it back. So how could you file those charges? That's so mean!
Oh, you really were trying to get it back. I didn't think you would do that. I thought that you would just run away to escape your problems.
There was no way that I could get out of this one just by running away, so I'm trying my hardest to fix it. Whatever! Just go back to the police and tell them that you withdraw the charges. I'm going to get the dress back soon, so just pretend that this never even happened.
I can't stop the police anymore.
What?
So just give it up.
What do you mean, give it up? All you need to do is tell them that you changed your mind and that you want to withdraw the charges. You're the one that made them in the first place, so you can reverse it.
It wasn't me that filed those charges, though. It was Jack's mother who called the police.
What? Brenda did that?
She was looking forward to this day more than we thought she was. She became emotionally attached to that wedding dress, it seems. You completely crushed her, so she said that she can't forgive you for that.
Brenda was always kind to me. I've never seen her angry before.
I have a message from her, actually. She said your families have always gotten along and she considered Kathy family. She said it's because of that specifically that it makes it all very hard to forgive.
Oh no. What have I done?
She's going to press charges no matter what. Whether it be for stealing or breaking and entering, she wants you charged and punished. She wants you to see how foolish you've been and for you to repent.
I do! I'm sorry! I feel really bad for what I did. So please, I'm begging all of you. Please withdraw the charges. I didn't think it would turn out like this.
Save your excuses and your words of apology for the police. We don't want to hear them now. While you go do that, Jack, his family, and I have a wedding to commence. The wedding ceremony ended without any problems. The photo session after the wedding turned out well too. The venue allowed us to stay over our time limit with no extra charge. In the end, the dress and tiara were returned to Jack's mother without any further problems.
But that did nothing to extinguish the feelings of anger, so she kept the charges against Kathy. This was the final straw for Kathy's parents, too. They didn't try to help her. I guess right about now, Kathy is at the police station facing the charges.